Students, today in this video we are going to solve some of the exercises which are related to direct speech and we have to change them into indirect speech. So we have discussed the rules and the regulations for this in our previous videos. So I suggest you to please once see that video so that there would be no confusion while changing the direct speech into indirect speech. So here we are going to solve today some of the exercises of present tense also, but with that when the sentences are given in universal fact, scientific fact or habits etc., and with that we will do when the reported verb is in present tense also or in future tense also. So how to change, let's see. Before solving these present tense exercises we will deal with this. So first, when the sentence is given in universal truth, he said honesty is the best policy. So only the change, you have to remove the commas from here and then you have to do this first letter small, that's it. He said that honesty is the best policy. Second one is, he said the sun rises in the east, right? So what is here? She said, at the place of commas you have to use that, right? The connector word that. The sun rises in the east, so you will do here T small, that's it. The sun rises in the east, full stop, right? Next one, he said I am early riser. So this sentence is telling the habit here, right? That he said I am early riser. So here what you will do, he said that, this pronoun we have to change here, but tense we cannot change, right? So when there is I, we have to change with the subject of the reported verb. We have discussed that also. So he said that he, now tense you will not change, but you will apply here the verb which is satisfying he. So with he you cannot apply am, right? With that from that category we have to take like is, am, are. So we have to take is here. He said that he is early riser, full stop, right? So this is the change when we have to look for these universal truth, historical facts, habitual facts etc. Next one is when reported verb is in present or future tense, then also the tense of the this reported means indirect speech, that does not change. So Rima says I am flying kite. So here what is there? Says. When you will look here, the first thing you have to see when you will change this reported speech, first you have to see this. If this is in present or in future, you are not going to change the tense of this one. If this is will say also, then also you will not change here because that is in future. And second thing you have to see, if this reported speech, right, that is in the habitual action, historical fact or universal fact, then also you are not going to change the tense of this, okay? In rest all the cases you will change the tenses in simple sentences. So Rima says I am flying a kite. Now here says, so what you have to do, Rima says at the place of commas that. Now this you have to change according to Rima. So Rima is what? She, that she is flying a kite. See, I have told you not to change the tense, but pronoun you have to change in these cases, right? If it is there. She will say I will eat an apple. So will say, so again it is she will say at the place of commas that. Now this I you have to change with this. She means the subject of the reported verb. So that is what? She will is will eat an apple, and that's full stop, okay? So that's all about this. Now let's come to But before that, just take a screenshot and try to practice such type of exercises in your notebook. Now let's see how to do the change when the reported speech is in present tense. So what to do here? She said, I am not well. Now here you have to see, here it is given said, means we are not following here the rule of says and will says, right? So we can change the tense, but before that you have to look here also whether this sentence is simple or this is universal truth or scientific fact or habit or something like that. So then we will not going to change. But here it is not following both the rules which we have done in these exercises, right? So she said, I am not well. Now I have told you am changes into was, means is MR changes into was. So here it is am. So what you have to do according to tense, according to the subject, you have to change that, right? Means in past form you have to do now. So it is what she said. At the place of commas it is what? That. Now this is what? I, and this I. When this is I, then what you have to do? You have to change this with she, right? Or the subject of the reported speech. So she said that she. Now am is given here, so that you have to change into past tense. So what is that? She was not well, and in the end there is full stop. That's quite simple. Next is, I said I agree to what he says. He says, he said, it's I said, commas, I agree to what he says, right? So what here? I said, at the place of commas, what you will do? That. Now this is also I and this is also I, so the both are interlinked, so we will not change here. That I agree. Agree is the first form, and was the past form of this? Agreed. So agreed to what he, now it is says, so that will change into said, okay, because that is the past form of this. Next is, he said to Sita, I have passed the test. He said to Sita, I have passed the test. So the answer would be he. The said to changes into told, right? So he told Sita. At the place of commas, that. I you have to change with he. So he, what with have you have to change into had, right, in past. So he had passed the test, full stop. Next is, the student said to the teacher, commas, I am sorry for this, right? So the student said to the teacher, the said to we have to change, and answer would be the student said to is told the teacher, commas, that. Now the student may be he or the student may be she, because here it is I, so that you have to change with this subject which is given in the reporting verb, and this is student, and the student is a common noun. Sorry. So the student you may write down he or she, right? So that he or she, whatever your choice is. Now am changes into was, sorry for this changes into that, right? So that's your answer. Next is, Renu said to me, I am washing clothes. So the answer would be Renu said to means change into told. Renu told me that I changes into Renu is what? Renu is girl. So this I you have to change according to Renu, but Renu you will not write down, you will write down she here. So that she, am changes into was washing clothes. That's it. Okay, so like this you will solve the exercises of present tense. Clear? Now in next part we will see the tenses which are of present tense but are having the interrogative sentences with that sentences. So interrogative sentences are basically in two forms. One is in WH family type of form questions, and the second one is yes no type of questions. The yes no type of questions, they start with the helping verbs. So we have two rules here. When the sentence given in reported speech is starting with the helping verb, so what you have to do, the connector word usually we do at the place of commas. So that connector word you have to change with if or whether here. If or whether, and when the sentence is starting with WH family words, right? So in that case there is no need of any connector word, means connecting word like that, if, that you will not use, right? One more important thing, when the question is there, right, when the interrogative type of question is there, so at the place of said to or told, what you have to do? You have to do here asked or inquired, etc. So you can do here inquired also, right? Asked or inquired when it is in interrogative form. So these are the basic rules to change this, right? Now when we talk about the present tense interrogative, so generally we have read that present tense that changes into past tense, right? But here I want to tell you one very important thing where students usually commit the mistakes, and those are what, like we have here do. So what is the past form of do? You have learned, that is did, right? What is the past form of does? That is also did, right? But here you will not do like this. This is wrong. When there is do in the sentence, you have to change that do with the basic form of the verb what is given, and that you have to change in verb second, right? When there is does, you have to change that to in verb second. Clear? Do and does changes into verb second. Please do not change this with did. But when there is do not or does not in the sentence, that you can change with didn't, means did not. Clear? So this is the basic mistake. Clear? So please avoid this. Do not change do into did here and does into did. Do changes into verb second, does also changes in verb second, and when there is do not and does not, that changes into did not. Okay, this is very important thing. Now let's start the questions of interrogative type. So here it is given, she said to me, which is the best thing out of this, right? So here what you have to do, the said to you have to change. I have told here this said to or said you have to change into asked or inquired, right? So what is the answer here? She asked me. Now connect at the place of commas. What you will do? If or whether, but when the sentence is having helping verb, right? But this sentence is starting with WH family. So the WH family word you will write down without any connecting word. So here it is, she asked me which. Now the best thing out, which is the best thing out of these, right? So is there, what you have to do? Is changes into was, rest all that is same, which was the best thing out of these changes into those, and in the end full stop. Please do not place question tag here. Okay, so the answer would be she asked me which was the best thing out of those, right? Next is she said to him. She said to him, commas, what do you want? So the answer is she said to changes into she asked him. Now again here it is starting with WH family. So what you will do? You will not write down here this connector word, right? So she asked him what. Now again a challenge. Do is there, right? So do you have to change in verb second. What? Now this you have to take first, and you have to change with she. So what? She. Now the verb is what? Want, right? And that do and want, both to this verb want you have to change in second form, that wanted, and full stop. So she asked him what she wanted. Clear? Next is Rima said to me, are you leaving this place? So the answer is Rima said to changes into asked. So Rima asked me. Commas you have to change in interrogative, because here it is what? Are, and that is helping verb. And when there is helping verb, that you have to this connector word you have to give if or whether. So Rima asked me if. Now this you changed with object of first this reported speech. If I. Now are changes into was, right? Leaving, this changes into that, and place will be place, and in the full end there will be full stop. So Rima asked me if I was leaving that place. The next one is, does he write good stories? He said to them. So he said to them, that is given in the end, and it may happen that this reported verb is in the end. So he said to them, does he write good stories? Now here it is does, so again you have to change that does into verb second. And one more thing, this is does, helping verb, so you have to apply if here. So what is the answer? He asked them. He asked them. Now if, okay, now this is them and he asked them. So if, does he write good stories? If he, because here he is there, so the third person, that does not change. So this he asked them if he write, you will change into second form. So if he wrote good stories, full stop. She said to him, have you got a pen? So she said to asked. Now here what you have to say? Have, which is helping verb. So he asked him, this comma you have to change with if, means the connector word you have to write down if, right? So she said to him, have you got the pen? So this you have to change with she. So if he, if he have changes into had, if he had got a pen, full stop. And the last one is, he said to her, do you know him? He said to her, do you know him? So he asked her if she knew him, full stop. So these are the questions in the form of interrogative sentences, and how you have to change this we have learned here in this video. So please practice such exercises in your notebooks, and we will deal with past tense in our next video. Thank you very much.